This is Valley News Live at 10.
Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacey Van Dyke. A Fargo man says his effort to help others led to him getting stabbed last weekend inside his own home.
Now he's looking for justice as those involved still aren't behind bars. Valley News Team's Nashay Taylor has the story.
I gotta wake up and see this every day, constantly in pain.
Brandon Willis is still recovering after being stabbed in his home this past weekend.
I felt something hit me on my side, boom. But it really didn't catch on to me until the second one hit.
He suffered 3 stab wounds and has since undergone surgery. His friend Amanda Carl Vella, who has been by his side since he was hospitalized, says she's heartbroken.
I couldn't believe it. And it's just like when I found him or come here to the hospital and just seeing him like he could have died, you know?
On Saturday, police were called to Willis's home in the 1400 block of Gateway Circle. When police arrived, they found Willis suffering from his injuries. Willis says he was lending a helping hand. For the last 6 months, he's allowed some people he knew were down on their luck to stay in his home.
But it's supposed to be a family thing. It's supposed to be a family, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to build each other, make each other happy.
He says the person that stabbed him was a known visitor of his roommates. Willis and Amanda believe all of the roommates turned their back on him.
And to say that they're his family, they're not his family. Like these people were monsters.
Willis says he's hoping justice will be served. But for now, the incident is leaving a lasting impact.
This is just not just on me. I know, say on my family. I know, say on my friends, on my daughters, you know, so all my loved ones that, you know, so they see me in this hospital.
In Fargo, Nashay Taylor, Valley News Live.
And Fargo police confirm they have not made any arrests, and they say they're actively investigating.
Well, we're in for some ups and downs. The weather department this week starting with some tricky travel for many of us tomorrow. First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us now live with details. Hutch.
Justin, thanks so much, and good evening, everyone. Here is a look at what we're expecting as we go into your hump day. Tonight we have some wind. It's from the north. We're actually seeing temperatures fall, and from time to time, well, through these lights here at the Dakota Magic Casino, you can see a couple flakes still making their way down to the ground there. Now, for the overnight, we get cold, but tomorrow we got some big time changes. And tonight's roads still showing some snow-covered areas anywhere you see pink here in and around the Grand Forks region. Off to the east of Fargo, there are a couple of roadways there that are the same, snow covered, and in parts of eastern North Dakota we have icy or snow covered roads along I-29 for most of the route until you get right into the Fargo zone. It's pretty clear here. Tomorrow, First Alert Weather Day. We've got snow, we've got wind, that's what comes first, and then we've got rain with wind, and then we've got warming up temperatures, and then that'll follow up by a lot of cold air that freezes a whole mess up. And that's got me concerned. Here's a look at the warm front early with the snow on this side. This is going to be 2 in the afternoon. Temperatures will be coldest here in northwest Minnesota. That's where I think we'll see some of the biggest snowfall amounts. Wind as well as icing conditions because you don't get a chance to warm up as much as your neighbors to the west. Then that cold surge continues into Friday. Now we'll have an hour by hour detail on all of that, but for tonight temperatures are heading down into the single digits for most of us before rising by morning. And some of you will have flakes flying before the morning commute. We'll detail it all here in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
Police in Minneapolis are still searching for suspects in the shooting of a school bus driver this afternoon. Officers found the driver shot in the head with what appeared to be a non-life-threatening injury. 3 students, all under the age of 10, were on that bus at the time. Thankfully, none of them were hurt. Officers drove them home. Investigators are searching for suspects. So far, no arrests have been made.
A man was hit by a snow plow today as he was lying on the road in Becker County. Happened early this morning near the intersection of Somdal Road on County Highway 21. The sheriff's office says the road was covered with snow and ice at the time. Strong winds were blowing. Emergency crews found 39-year-old Matthew Joel Larson unconscious, but they say he had no obvious signs of trauma. Larson was taken to the hospital in Detroit Lakes. The extent of his injuries are still unknown. Authorities did not say why he was laying on the road at the time of the incident. One woman is dead after getting caught in machinery during an overnight shift at the 3M plant in Alexandria, Minnesota. The Minnesota Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, is investigating. The worker's identity has not yet been released. A warrant has been issued for a member of the Minnesota Army National Guard.
This comes after court documents say he sexually assaulted a high school student in his hotel room back in 2019. 36-year-old Army Sergeant Ryan Rivers is charged with sexual conduct in a position of authority in Roseau County Court. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Court documents say the 17-year-old victim enlisted in the National Guard in December 2018, and in 2019, the victim says Rivers asked her to go to his Roseau hotel with him, where she says Rivers began to kiss and grope her. In a statement to Valley News Live, the Minnesota National Guard said, in part, Rivers has been reassigned to a position in Minneapolis without contact with recruits. Their statement continues, quote, "We are continuing to monitor his civilian case and will take appropriate action as required."
Fargo police are asking for your help finding a woman who hasn't been heard from in about 2 months. Today, police confirm 40-year-old Sarah Zahn, you see her here, was reported missing by family members who tell us no one has heard from her since December 10th. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police at the number on your screen. Meanwhile, police in Grand Forks are still looking for a missing 26-year-old man. Anthony Valdez was last seen near Level 10 nightclub around 1:30 Sunday morning, so overnight Sunday morning. Police are asking those living on North 3rd and 5th Streets down to Gateway Drive to check out their homes, cars, security cameras. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police at 701-787-8000.
Some local teachers are having to deal with twice as many students thanks to a shortage of substitutes. Moorhead reports they're averaging 44 subs a day, but they need about 100. Fargo Public Schools says they have 70 substitutes every day. They need closer to 90. And West Fargo Schools says they're using a similar number of subs, but are typically out 145 teachers every day. Officials point out those absences do include teaching positions that don't necessarily need a sub, like counselors, deans, and librarians. Fargo school officials say it's mostly elementary school teachers that are having to take over for other classrooms.
New federal requirements to get a commercial driver's license go into effect or went into effect Monday. So if you drive an 18-wheeler, a bus, or even in certain conditions farm equipment, entry-level drivers will now have to complete a program before taking their CDL test. This new requirement is expected to bring down the number of repeated tests and make the driver's license office run more efficiently, while making sure drivers know everything they need to know to be safe on the road. But the training comes with a cost, several $1,000s and up to 120 hours of work, depending on the school. Still, NDDOT says they're not worried about the additional requirement creating any type of boundary.
But it's just a step, and it's not, I don't think, going to be that demanding. I think for organizations that are registered as a provider, they probably go through a lot of this already with their employees, with their staff. So it's not anything that's going to be out of the ordinary.
Meanwhile, protests over vaccine mandates in Canada continue to cause problems at the U.S. border. Day 2 of a bridge being shut down. This truck protest, that bridge connecting Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor, Canada. The bridge carrying about a quarter of American trade with that country. Compared to last week, the number of new COVID-19 cases, however, is down 44% nationwide. Hospitalizations down about 25%. Members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force say there is light at the end of the tunnel.
We're moving toward a time when COVID won't disrupt our daily lives, a time when COVID won't be a constant crisis.
White House COVID Task Force also says FDA advisors are set to meet this week or perhaps next week to talk about vaccines for kids younger than age 5. If approved, they're set to start rolling them out very soon.
3 words on a competitor's swimsuit caused a lot of controversy at a recent Wisconsin swim meet. A 12-year-old girl was told she couldn't compete Sunday because her Black Lives Matter swimsuit was considered political language. She says she wanted to send a message of solidarity in light of Amir Locke's death, but an official at the meet claimed it violated USA Swimming's policy. At one point, the official told her she could either change or be disqualified.
She's very passionate about social justice, and she has been through a lot already in her young age. And it's a big part of her, which I think is wild at 12. She said, "Mom, I'm not taking the suit off." And I said, "You go, girl." And okay.
Lions then called in extra help from the Duluth NAACP, who argued it's a humanitarian issue, not political. Duluth YMCA leaders who were sponsoring that race eventually overturned the disqualification and banned the volunteer race official. Lions activism is part of widespread support and demands for justice in the police shooting of Amir Locke. The 22-year-old black man was killed during the execution of a no-knock warrant in Minneapolis last Wednesday.
Still to come on Valley News Live at 10, people are walking to raise awareness for homelessness in the Fargo Moorhead area.